Access Sacramento presents Hometown Sports Game of the Week. This program is funded in part by a grant from the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission.
We have reached the end of the line for high school basketball's regular season finale, and to say that tonight's contest is of paramount importance would be a gross understatement. Good evening and welcome to Sacramento High School's Hotel Pavilion, where Access Sacramento has you dialed in to the premium game around the area in girls high school basketball. Number 2 McClatchy coming in to face top-ranked Sacramento High School on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week. Good evening. Welcome to Sacramento High's Hotel Pavilion. I'm Will James along with Special K, Kevin Kelly, and we have been bracing for this ball game for weeks now. It has come down just the way we thought it would, Kevin. All the chips are on the line. Sac at home can either, with victory, have sole possession of first and the Metro title all to themselves. And McClatchy needs a win to force a co-championship.
Yeah, this game is everything. And you know, there's always, you look at the schedule at the start of the season, you put together something, and you look at the games that you think are going to be monsters during the season. And I remember you and I talking about this months ago, circling this one game and thinking that this could be something special. And darned if we weren't right, as this is going to be a great game between two of the best powerhouses in the area right now for girls basketball. And I don't think we could have picked a more exciting place to be than here in Sacramento tonight.
Well, neither do I. It's extra festive because it's senior night here at Sac High. And certainly, though they have just a couple of prominent seniors, it adds to the festivity, no doubt. And let's not forget that the crowd is split between the girls and boys games, with the other game going on at McClatchy, and the place is still filled, testimony to this dynamic matchup. Well, to see how these teams got to this juncture, let's take a peek at the last outings for each of these squads, and they were momentum builders.
Well, absolutely. McClatchy just destroyed Laguna Creek last Friday night by 25, while Sac and Burbank added up to 100, with Sac getting 87 of the 100 and pretty much putting Burbank away in about the first 2 minutes of the ball game.
They did indeed, and led by 50 at the half in a runaway. Well, we certainly do not expect that in tonight's contest. No, quite the contrary. The impact players are going to be vital in tonight's outcome. Let's start off with head coach Jeff Oda's McClatchy impact players, the Lions leaders.
And you start out with Sarah Samizu, the point guard. She's coming off the bench tonight, number 14. Number 2, Cordis Clark, a guard, and number 33, Jordan Cruz, a forward. All three outstanding players. Look for them to be the key if McClatchy's going to pull it out tonight against the Dragons.
Courtesy Clark, one of 2 transfers from Sacramento High to McClatchy High, the other being Michele Tourney, and Cruz bound for Utah on a basketball scholarship. Now, veteran head coach Michele Masari of Sac High will counter with her impact players, the Deluxe Dragons.
Now, and she's got 3 pretty special players as well on her side, and all 3 of them I'm sure will contribute. Number 1, Speedy McMillan at the point. Number 23, Ryan Walters, a guard. And number 22, Sasha Brown, a forward. 3 in their own right that will definitely bring it tonight for the Dragons.
McMillan, a track star during the spring and a real speed merchant. Walters, the leading scorer. Sasha Brown, one of only 2 seniors on the Sac High roster. Well, we have the table set for you for tonight's momentous occasion and this season's finale here, and with the Metro title at stake. Don't wander off. When we come back, we'll join Rick Stewart. He has lots more on tonight's big matchup. Stay with us.
Maybe he's really focused.
Hey, Michael. Michael. Maybe he likes spinning the wheels.
Maybe he just loves trucks.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. It's got nothing to do with fairness. Bam. Your whole world changes in an instant. And you never see it coming. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke. F-A-S-T. Fast.
To the show here at Sac High on Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week with Kevin Kelly and Rick Stewart. I'm Will James, and we have set you up for what looks to be one of the premium matchups of the entire season. And certainly these two head coaches, Oda and Masari, have primed their ball clubs for this game of major importance, Kevin.
So this game, to me, has so much as far as playoff implications, and it's not just about who wins the game tonight. If McClatchy wins, they share the title with Sac. Sac wins, they win the title outright for the league. However, this is a playoff game, and basically being prepared for a game like this, you've got to remember that this is going to set you up for what's going to happen in the future.
Head coach Michele Masari brings in her Lady Dragons with an overall mark of 19-7 after a brutal preseason slate. 13-0 though, undefeated in Metro, and a one-game lead over Jeff Oda and the McClatchy Lions. As you can see around the gym, we've got a great crowd on hand, and we'll turn our attention now to Rick Stewart down at floor level. Rick?
Two quality coaches here tonight for McClatchy and for Sac. Jeff Oda's in his first year with McClatchy. He was a longtime boys coach. This year he's 23-3, and he's 12-1 in the Metropolitan Conference action. Now, his career record, you can see right there, is 101 and 112. Now that's with 9 years as head coach of the boys for McClatchy. Now this year he's 1-1 against Sacramento, but this is the first year as a girls coach, 23-3. That's a solid record. Now for Sacramento, Coach Michele Masari. It's her 9th year as a coach at Sacramento, and her record is 215-71. 9th year again, 7 Metro League titles, 4 section championships, and 7 NorCal appearances. Now, as the guys told you, this is quite the rivalry. 2 of the oldest schools, if not 2 of the oldest schools in the Northern California area section. So let's take a look at the series history between these 2 schools. For the series, this is the 25th meeting since 2006. Now, early dominance, Sacramento won the first 16 meetings between these 2 teams. Now, in the last, McClatchy's won 5 of the last meetings from 2014 to the present. Sacramento leads overall 19-5 in this series. This is a quality series. It will always be a quality series, and we expect not only that, but great fireworks on the court tonight. Guys, back to you. I'm looking forward to this game.
As do we, and fireworks, I would say, is the appropriate usage right there, because these 2 teams in their first meeting really exploded their competition over at McClatchy High in a ball game that Sac High prevailed. So let's take a look at the last meetings of these 2 teams. 3 weeks ago, on the 25th of January at McClatchy, Sacramento controlled tempo and the game and carried a 12-point lead into the 4th quarter before McClatchy rallied and trimmed it to 6, but Sac a big road win. Now, prior to that, in December at the highly regarded West Coast Jamboree in the Bay Area, they met again. Sacramento had a late 3-point lead before McClatchy took it from them with a burst at the end to win it by 3. So they split those 2, but the key victory on the top there by Sac High in league play of major importance.
Well, it's important too, but I think, if not mistaken, we had a couple of McClatchy players not on the floor that day. And so they will be at full strength here for this game tonight. The key for me to looking at this is those scores in the 50s and high 40s. Each team is averaging almost 70 points a game, so it'll be interesting to see if they can do that again.
Don't wander off. We're going to come right back and meet tonight's starting lineups when we return.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up 1 finger if you're a man, women 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Happy to have you with us this evening for Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week, and we have a premium matchup for you as our main course. McClatchy coming in to face Sac High in the regular season final. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups, and first we'll meet the visiting McClatchy Lions under head coach Jeff Oda.
And for McClatchy, we've got a little bit of a change in the starting lineup this time. They're going to be, which is interesting to me, going to start Tourney, Clark at the guards, Lowry, Cruz at the forwards. Cameron Hall is going to be at center, which is a little bit of a change for him, and surprises me against that Sac High defense, which is so stifling that you would think that he would want more guard play, but he probably has something up his sleeve we don't know about.
Well, you can see here on senior night at Hotel Pavilion at Sac High, the major presentation of the host Dragons starting lineup. They lead the Metro League at 13-0 and need a victory tonight to win the conference title outright.
And Sakai brings a very potent 5 in here. Again, they get a lot of their defense. They got a lot of their points out of defense, starting with Speedy McMillan at the point guard spot. Ryan Walters is the other guard. The forwards, they start Sasha Brown as a guard as well. And the 2 forwards, Maya Lawrence and Anna Blunt, fills in the quintet right there, Will. Very potent starting 5 for Sakai Dragons.
It is. They've got a lot of everything in that 5, with McMillan being the speed burner, Walters the leading scorer, and Blunt and Lawrence the board bangers, with Sasha Brown cleaning up everything else. There's Sasha right there, 22.
And they get a lot of points out of defense and transition. They get steals, go down, get easy shots, averaging 70 points a game for the season. It'll be interesting to see. McClatchy shut them down to an average of about 50 points in the 2 games they played before, so 20 beneath their average. McClatchy is usually an offense that's going to take care of the basketball and not turn it over, and that's where the contrasting styles meet.
Well, I think defense will be the deciding factor in tonight's ball game. I think it's unlikely either team will be hitting 70. I think the defense will be too tough on both ends. One can never tell, but let's go ahead and meet our game officials tonight that are going to have to be on their A game in order to keep things fair and square with what figures to be a very intense and up-tempo, hotly contested ball game tonight. Assigned from the NCOA, referee Bill Harrigan, and he's working with umpire Ronald Carson.
And 2 veterans assigned to this game. They'd be assigned to a big playoff game. This game is interesting because I would not be surprised to see these 2 guys back in the section final. They're going to be seated opposite each other, probably 1 and 2, and they're probably going to end up playing each other somewhere down the road, and maybe even in NorCal's as well. So they could actually, in actuality, play a total of 5 games this year, which would be very interesting. We did that one year at Foot when we ended up playing Highlands 5 times.
That's amazing. We got some great faces in the crowd tonight. Sacramento State assistant coaches Bill Baxter and Jennifer Kunisaki. Kunisaki, of course, the former McClatchy head coach, looking on, and I'm sure this is of great interest to them. Tapping at center circle, Cameron Hall for McClatchy, and she's going up against Blunt for Sac. The Dragons control and have first possession.
McClatchy starts out in a man-to-man defense with extension into the backcourt right there. That was Clark. Good
outside
spread.
Jay on the way, a miss. Nice seal off by the McClatchy rebounders.
Good job right there by Tourney, using their body to box out the Sakai defenders, trying to get the offensive boards.
Tourney to Cruz. We're just underway. Nice to have you with us for tonight's super battle.
And
jump shot on the way and a miss there, taken by Clark. 1 and done.
Both teams playing pressure man-to-man defense around the perimeter. Real good spacing last time down the floor for the Dragons. McClatchy was a little bit tight in there, bothered by that Sakai defense.
A whistle and a foul on the drive by Ryan Walters. And it's going to be a personal foul number 1 called on Courtesy Clark, the former Sakai Dragon. She and Rochelle Tourney both started their high school playing days here at Sac High before transferring over.
Well, that's an interesting side note here too, because you know that both staffs and both schools are aware of that, and certainly are playing harder to beat those players that left them, certainly in Sac High's case.
Walters, the leading scorer for the Dragons. And a poor pass to the corner, saved and grabbed. It's a turnover as Tourney comes up with it. And bumped by Blunt.
Now you see the strength of Tourney coming up the floor. She's got broad shoulders, and Blunt's trying to reach in there, and Tourney's just too strong. If you're going to try to reach in there, you got to go low. You're not going to beat her up top. You got to try and punch it out by the knees.
Jeff Oda looking on in his first year as head coach of the McClatchy girls, having, however, assisted both Harvey Tahara and Jennifer Kunisaki for a number of years along that Lions bench.
Yeah, and a very well-established star in his own right in the late 70s in McClatchy High School, setting 7 records that are still to this date standing.
Tourney falls down, loses the rock, a breakaway layup canned by Blunt.
And that's where Sac High has a little bit of an advantage. If they get out on the floor in the open lanes there, they've got faster players to get down the floor than McClatchy. They're going to try to keep creating turnovers and get easy buckets down at the other end.
Tourney, drive, take it strong, a layup, pops out, and a whistle and a foul. It's a block against Sac. trying to take the charge on the play with McMillan.
See right here, fell down, just picked up the ball and spread down the court. He did a nice job of protecting the ball right there against a McClatchy fender to finish.
So first foul on McMillan, second team foul on Sack as Tourney goes to the stripe.
And McMillan did a nice job standing in there. That was one of those could go either way plays. Tourney coming down the floor, that's pretty imposing right there. And it was pretty gutsy of the Dragon to stand in there and be willing to take that charge.
The smallest Dragon on the floor taking the charge. And Tourney makes one and misses one. 2-1 Sack, entry into the post. Blunt, turn, fake, has it bobbled away. A kick out and a deep shot, a clanker off the board by Walters.
You see Tourney on that box out. That was an outstanding box out on Blunt. If they were 10 feet away from the basket, almost out to the free throw line. That's how you get it done, young people. Take note. Right there was an outstanding block out.
Well, support from the Dragons boys as you see them lined up in what is a packed house pretty much, and very hot and very intense in here. Early on, 2-1 Sack.
And you can see a trap right here. McClatchy, a special defense right there, came out and started trapping without Sack High knowing it. There was a call from the bench.
2 early turnovers on McClatchy, 2 early team fouls on Sack. Sideline inbound goes to McMillan. Walters, she's been off target twice. Here's Courtesy Clark, chased from behind, now slowing up.
Good decision by Clark right there to slow it down.
Tourney, a power drive, and another miss, too strong. Rebound pulled by Lawrence. A sticky opening couple of minutes here. Early game jitters, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, a huge game like this, guys, they're going to be a little bit, the game's going a little bit faster than each of them want to go right now. And then they'll settle in.
McMillan working against the much taller Clark. Blunt wheels and deals. The hook pops out, and here's 2 Dragons tumbling and a whistle. Wow.
Now, a lot of contact in there. I mean, they're going to let them play a playoff type game in here. There's going to be a lot of physical play before the officials start to get involved.
Foul is on Tourney, her first, second team foul. 2 subs on for McClatchy. One of them usually a starting point guard, Shimizu, number 14, also into the contest for the Lions, Jenna Waukee, number 20. And for the Dragons checking in, Rebecca Brown, second leading scorer.
She brings a ton of energy out. I remember from a couple of years ago we did the game with them on, might have been last year. She was really all over the floor and very impressive.
Blunt, a drive and a miss, but she rebounds it and feeds inside. Sasha Brown misses but draws a foul.
Right there, I think maybe she should have went back up with that. Blunt had to look like rebounding and position on the floor to be able to go right back up strong. And then she saw the floor and made a nice pass and ended up getting a foul, but I think she may have had the better shot.
First foul on Jenna Waukee, and number 1 free throw pops out.
So you can see right here, comes in spin move. Tourney falls down. That didn't call that one right there, which could have been a foul, but and of course the Sackeye players just fell right over Tourney.
Second free throw, good. 1 out of 2. And it's a 3-1 Dragons lead. As you see, they extend their pressure.
Yeah, they're going to go to a little half-court 2-2-1 zone press right here.
They break it. Shimizu, a runner, down.
And that's what she can do. They got her down the floor right there where she can score. She's a good perimeter shooter.
Shimizu averaging 8 points and 3 assists per game. And a quintessential point guard for this ball club that has big wings and big guards. Time out Sack. Michele Masari wants to change something up. It's going to be a 30, so we'll just keep it right here as you see her up along that Sack bench.
I think Masari is probably going there telling, hey, watch out for the trap, watch out for the calls. They change them. McClatchy's changing defenses a little bit on them. Calm them down. Say, hey, look, we got time. We are getting some good shots. Just take your time. They're going to fall for us.
Well, things really have been exciting here early on. It's senior night here at Sac High, and this being the regular season final, there's a lot on the line. The playoffs loom dead ahead beginning next week, but tonight's contest will in one fashion or another determine the Metro League Championship.
As it should. I mean, Kennedy sits here in third place with a quality squad as well. Certainly is going to make the playoffs, but these two are the cream of the crop of the conference.
Sasha Brown, lateral pass. We're nearing midway first at the 4:25. Deep J canned by the leading scorer, Ryan Walters.
Well, Ryan did a nice job right there of leaning in, creating a little bit of space, stepping out to about a 23-foot shot, and knocked it down.
McClatchy breaks the press. Cameron Hall, a runner, banked home sweet.
A nice job by Cameron Hall right there. Although, Sac, they did increase the tempo against the Lions right there, which was probably what they wanted to do, but they weren't able to be successful in creating a turnover or a missed shot.
Lions trapping of their own.
Nice trap right there. You see, they're not overbodying them.
Whistle and a foul. It's going to be against the Lions.
I like the footwork right there on the trap, too, by the Dragons player. I think that was Brown that was in there, and she just kept her composure, pivoting, staying low, using her body to protect herself against a tough trap. She ended up finding somebody down the floor wide open, but the foul was called before the Dragons could convert that nice pass and layup.
Second foul on Walkie. She sits down, and veteran senior Kamari Donald checks in for the Lions, number 23. She's one of 3 members on this roster that was on that state championship team 2 years ago. Here's a turnover. Clark comes up with it.
Good decision by Clark to pull it out right there. Good ball movement by McClatchy.
Corner jumper missed by Tourney, one and done. Nice defensive rebounding. Here
Tourney
comes
can step
Walters.
out there and hit those threes too. Boy, that's a real tough matchup.
Corner J drained beautifully from the deep corner, and she is one of their best 3-ball specialists, Andriana Avent.
Avent did a nice job getting down the floor and just getting set up right there.
Look
so
at that foul by Clark.
Love the energy of the game so far, Will. I mean, each team is a little bit tight, 9-5. We talked about it. Probably not going to score a lot of points as they normally do, but you can see that there's a very high level of intensity on that 94-foot piece of wood out there.
The foul is on Walters, her first. Third team foul on Sac. It places Courtesy Clark to the line, and she's too strong on number 1.
Right there. Tourney with a jump shot. Nobody boxed out Clark. She snuck in there for the rebound and reach in right there by a Dragon player for the foul.
Flip side of quarter number 1 at the 3:18 mark. Sac a 9-5 lead after a couple of 3 balls. And 0 for 2 from the stripe, but the hustling rebound. Donald feed low. Tourney's got it and tied up. Alternating possession will go to the Lions. Blunt out, Lawrence in for the Dragons. Non-shooting, there's Jennifer Masari issuing instructions. Baseline left, Tourney will inbound for the Lions.
Loving that tough physical play out there. Both teams just showing their heart on their sleeves, playing their tails off. Just awesome to watch.
Tourney inbound, Shimizu sends it to Courtesy Clark. Defended there by Blunt. Spin move in the key, short J, got it, and a whistle and a foul, and 1.
That was a nice matchup right there. Clark a little bit taller, actually spun and just had a little bit of an edge on her and just shot right over the top. Very nice move. See right here, she's got the whole right side of the floor. Spin move, boom, creates a little bit of space right over the top.
2 fouls on Speedy McMillan, getting a little jaw-jacking from Coach Masari at the Dragon bench as she sits down. So does Tourney for the Lions.
Well, Tourney going to be in and out a little bit here. Coach Oda's already taken her out twice. Going to give her a couple of breaks here, get her right back in.
And another miss by Clark at the foul line, 0 for 3 from there. Up the floor quickly. Sasha Brown sends it to the corner. Jay on the way, air ball long. Clark a rebound, explodes out of the pack. Chased by 3 Dragons, a layup, down!
Great move by Clark right there, just to hang on that left-hand side, hold the ball on her hip, toss it up at the last second and lay it in.
Back the other way, and wow. Shimizu's going to be called for a hand check on a reach as she tapped it away from Avent.
I didn't see that one, but of course the official's a lot closer than I am.
Let's take a look at that Clark drive here.
And see right here, it's just a nice job of splitting there, using her size and strength, keeping the ball down on her left hip away from the defender, eyes up on the rim, finishing. That's the way it's done.
Nice soft touch. She sits down as you see Jeff Oda working that Lions rotation. And into the ball game now for McClatchy, Narcisa, number 3. Inbound, trouble on the inbound, finally snapped in over the head. Run down by Speedy McMillan. Defended on the point by Narcisa. Corner J on the way. In and out, tough luck. Nice rebounding by Lawrence. Sasha Brown gets it back once more. Kick out, and here's a J. Missed by McMillan. Air ball long. Out of bounds to the Lions.
And McClatchy plays really good fundamental defense. I mean, they're always right on the ball, heads on the ball. They talk on that last out-of-bounds play. The communication between their players was excellent, and that's why Sac had trouble getting the ball in bounds easily. Just very fundamental team, just like Jeff was as a player. And, of course, his mentor, Harvey Tahara, preached that as good or as well as anybody in the country.
Drive it strong, a layup, down, boy, oh boy, wide open, and Nia Lowry saw the daylight.
Yeah, and you can see the swing in momentum right here. Sac's running out of a little bit of energy right now. McClatchy has the better energy and making the better decisions.
Drive it strong, and boom! Offensive foul. It's a charge on Sasha Brown as she decked the McClatchy defender.
And Sasha did a great job getting around two players, but Tourney was there waiting for her after that. That's team defense, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about fundamentals. Outstanding team defense right there. Sac doesn't even get a shot off, and McClatchy comes down with another opportunity to score and keep the momentum rolling.
It's been a 6-0 run for McClatchy after trailing 9-5. The Lions now lead it by 2. Perimeter pressure applied by Avent. The tap away on Hall. Jeff Oda looking on. So Cruz will inbound. She is yet to take a shot. She is headed to Utah on basketball scholarship, and she's their primary three-point bomber. 30-second timeout, so we'll just keep it right here. And so far, this game has exploded with the intensity we thought it would.
Yeah, and now things are starting to slow down a little bit. Even though McClatchy seems to be the team that is having a little bit more success over the last minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Well, academics is the most important part of student athletics. And you can see there, Jeff Oda's Lady Lions, have been hitting the books beautifully.
Yeah, look at that. You got 4 outstanding student athletes right up there, 3.7 or better, 3 of them at 4.0. That gets you opportunities. It's not just what you do inside that square out there on the floor, but your grade point average makes a difference. All you young athletes, make sure you're taking care of those grades.
Clark, a wide open J is missed, but it comes out long to Cruz, and they're sticking to her like flypaper. She has really stung them over the years. Here's Cruz, fake, give it off to Clark, missed. Gets it back, missed again. Out of bounds to Sac High.
You know, Clark on that play, that shot was just too easy. There was nobody there. She's right in front of the rim, and she short-armed it, just left it short right there. It was interesting. Cruz, though, she finally got the ball, was able to make a play, but she was very unselfish, and she looked for another teammate, and both of the teammates got the ball after her, had good opportunities. So she's going to play a part in this game, whether or not she scores a lot or not.
Well, she averages 16 points a game and thus far has yet to get into the scoring column, yet the Lions lead by 2.
Man, that's a good sign for Jeff Oda and the Lions.
Up the floor quickly, Speedy McMillan. Kick out, Avent wide open. Whistle and a foul.
So far, Sac High is really struggling around the perimeter with the threes. I believe they've only made 1 out of about 5 or 6 shots.
Some debate on that call issued by Jeff Oda as Avent goes to the foul line. Cruz picks up the foul. 16 fouls on the Lions as Avent drops number 1. Coach Masari's roster stacked with sophomores.
Both teams have young players on the team. They're going to figure in the futures of both those outstanding programs on the floor tonight. See right here, coming down, kick to the corner, closeout.
No foul there.
Yeah, I think they thought maybe they ran under her a little bit and something along those lines. That's one of those ones sometimes they blow the whistle and like, oop, I wish I didn't do that.
That's true, but that's why we're here, to stick up for the innocent. Okay, 2 out of 3 for Avent as she shoots 3 on the alleged foul from 3-point distance, and it ties the ball game at 11. Back cut Cruz, kick out. Here comes Tourney, short runner, pops off short. Rebounding is Hall, and she's fouled inside, perhaps by the diminutive Rebecca Brown. Let's see. So Hall will go to the stripe, and if they're calling that on Speedy McMillan, that's 3 fouls.
It is 3 fouls, and that's huge in this game. Interesting point here right now. McClatchy's had some success on the offensive boards. They've gotten 3 or 4 offensive rebounds, gotten back to the free throw line, gotten a couple of extra shots out of it, and it's really helped swing the momentum. So that guy's got to do a better job boxing out here.
12-11 as Hall makes 1 out of 2. Lions by 1. Avent drive on Cruz. And a tie-up.
Wow.
And I think they're going to call Tourney for a foul
They
there.
are, but you know what? That was, I'm not agreeing with that call at all. It looked like that was a ball that was just in between 2 people, and both guys had their hands on it. I think that's a no call right there. Maybe a travel on Tourney because she fell down, but I don't think you penalize her for that particular play.
That's 2 fouls now on Michele Tourney. Both clubs kind of plunging into foul trouble here in the first quarter. Avent too strong, 1 and done. Hall boards it.
A nice box out by Hall again. Another really nice fundamental play.
Well, the fouls are piling up.
Yeah, Clark has really impressed me, pushing the ball down the floor. You see again right here, she's going to be in the open court, and as she pushes the ball down the floor, she immediately puts the Sac High defender on her heels and basically creates the opportunity for a foul. If I'm Sac High coach, I'm going to say, hey, look, you know what? Let's give her a step off. Let's see if she can pull up and hit a shot or two and give her a little bit of room. She's really hurting you when she puts her body on you and spins.
Rebecca Brown So here's Tourney at the stripe where she's missed 3 free throws.
Where's Clark?
Courtesy Clark, should say. And it's now 14-11.
I watch the trap right here. McClatchy's a little 1-2-2. They're in zone.
Deep J from the corner is drained beautifully. Rebecca Brown.
Nice shot by Rebecca Brown. And that's how you make him pay for that.
In and out on the jumper by Cruz. 16 seconds to go in the quarter. Sack pushes up court. Avent, left-hand layup, down.
Beautiful step through right there. Wow, what a great shot.
16-14 Sack, 3 seconds. Hall in the key, short J. No good at the buzzer. We've played one here at Sac High in a battle for the Metro title. Don't wander off. We'll be right back for more of Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
Welcome back to the fray. Here we are, and the music is jumping, and the drums have got the beat here for this Metro League showdown. Right now, after 1, Sac High on top of McClatchy by 2 at 16-14.
A couple of keys to the first quarter there for Sac High. They need to do a better job on their defensive boards, not allowing some offensive rebounds that haven't labeled. McClatchy gets extra shots. They got to hit some threes. They hit one down in the end. It kind of changed momentum, and they got to keep up the pressure deep. For McClatchy, they got to knock down a couple of threes. They got to get Cruz some shots. I think that's very important. Right now, she's doing everything else, not getting any shots.
Avent forced a 3 and left the back door open. Hall cashed it in.
And way to keep your head up right there by Cruz, looking down the floor right over the top, and a nice entry pass. Easy for, excuse me, easy for Cameron Hall to finish.
Another turnover. Hall's got it. Poor pass inside, picked off. Lead pass, all alone, a layup, down. Avent from the leading scorer, Walters.
Ava has impressed me the last few times down the floor. She's got a really good burst of energy to the basket. Very quick.
Cruz has her first basket to tie the ball game.
It's going to go back and forth. This game is going to come down to about 2 or 3 big plays going down the stretch. That's what it's going to come down to. So many good players on the floor.
Corner jumper, clanker. Hall has the rebound sealed off from Lawrence. Outlet to Cruz. Snap it up the floor. Clark, pull up Jay. One and done. Lawrence back for the board.
I love the way Cruz looks up the floor and advances the ball with a pass. It's faster than Usain Bolt. Passing the ball up the floor.
Walters trying to shake loose at the foul line. Now it's Lawrence. Not much of a scoring threat, but a rebounder. All glass. Clark knocked down as the ball rolls out of bounds to the McClatchy Lions.
A tough shot right there. Good job getting on the floor for the loose ball.
Rebecca Brown. Timeout taken here at the 6:26 early second. Taken by McClatchy. It's a full, so we're going to step back and exhale one time. Don't wander off. More to come. Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week.
You make me wear my bike helmet. Taught me never to run with scissors. And to follow the swimming rules.
You tell me to stay away from drugs.
To always buckle my seatbelt.
So why do you keep a loaded gun in your drawer?
How safe is that?
You asked them to follow some safety rules. Now they're asking you. In fact, they're counting on you. Never let your gun get into the wrong hands. Remember, always lock it up. Visit ncpc.org.
The action has been furious, and here's part of it right now in our highlight reel. Cameron Hall of McClatchy. And the nice layup on the drive by Nia Lowry. On the other end, Avent sneaks out and has the left-handed flip. Back to action. Cruz up the floor with a cautious belt-high dribble. On the right wing, it goes to Lowry. Drive to the foul line. Got a whistle before the shot, and it's going to be against McClatchy. Moving screen on Hall, I believe.
Yeah, Hall, when she turned right there, just kept her body and just basically shielded it out, almost like she was boxing out for a rebound, and you can't do that. That
18
is
fouls.
Illegal.
Illegal, okay. McClatchy, 18 fouls, sack 7. We'll see some bonus free throwing before the half, I imagine.
And both teams have struggled a little bit, shooting 50% or less from the free throw line so far.
Rebecca Brown, a long miss. Sack High does have 3 threes. Speeding layup. No good, but a whistle and a foul as veteran Kamari Donald will go to the foul line.
Donald showed great speed right there. She caught the ball and just exploded to the rim, and the Dragons were back on their heels, and there was no way they were going to be able to stop her. She had a good look at the basket, too, and an opportunity for a three-point play that just came off the rim.
Number 1 is good. Donald is one of 3 Lions that were on that 2014 state championship team. Shimizu, Cruz, and Donald.
No, she looks poised out there. I mean, the way she just stepped up right there and knocked down that free throw, and she's been on the floor before in big times. It's pretty apparent.
19-18, McClatchy by 1. Hall sits down for a rest as Jeff Oda continues to rotate his roster, and number 2 also good.
Yeah, he's done a nice job so far of giving everybody a little bit of break here and there and staying real close. You know, not he's taken some of his key players out and given enough time, and it hasn't really cost them any points on the scoreboard.
This game has been pretty tight from the outset. Sasha Brown, a dangerous lob. She gets a return pass from McMillan. Tough D by Shimizu.
Just great defense. I mean, that's a man D. It looks like a zone.
Wow, a roaring layup. Cashed in sweet by Toller.
Toller did a great job getting to the rim right that time. Split 2 McClatchy players to finish.
One of many sophomores on this roster that Michele Masari boasts. Donald drills a 3.
Yeah, she's got ice in her veins. I think we got a new nickname for her. She's the Ice Woman. Knock down that 3.
Well, she's been to the big dance and come away with the gold. Tap away from behind, a foul on Lowry. First foul on Nia. and the team fouls for both squads are growing.
That's a play right there that Lowry shouldn't make, because what's he going to do? Catch and shoot a fall away 17, 18-footer right there? I mean, if she's Michael Jordan, okay, I get it. But right there, it's just kind of, you're just kind of giving a foul to the team for no reason, giving them some free shots.
At the stripe, Murray Gomez. Measure, fire, and miss on the front end of 1-and-1. Rebound, Lowry. Speeding into the front court, Donald. Shimizu, drive it to the slot. The runner, banked home, sweet.
Nice job. And Donald collapsed the defense right there, and everybody had to help. That gave Shimizu an opportunity to go against a closing out player. She was able to swing that left-hand shot for a layup.
Corner J, missed by Avent, and Clark has the rebound. Straight down the slot. Who's home? Tough luck. It pops out. McMillan boards it. Kick out to the corner. Boy, Avent not bashful. Another shot and a miss. Scrap for the board. Probably going to be a foul on Gomez as Donald got knocked down.
I think so, and there was Donald in the middle of things again. She's really provided a great spark off the bench for the Lions.
That she has. The 5-point lead, the largest held by McClatchy. Sac has led by 5 at one point in the first quarter.
Man, I got to go seesaw like that probably the rest of the game. When you have a player like Donald as a coach, it's such an unbelievable thing to be able to bring somebody off the bench you know you can trust with that kind of ability. And I'm sure Coach Oda is very pleased and very happy to have her, and she's willing to accept that responsibility and that role. That's huge. I mean, that's what makes championship teams. It's not always the best 5 players on the floor, but it's everybody else that's out there that's willing to give themselves up for that team. All the difference in the world.
Sacrifice, and right now, Donald is carrying the Lions, 27-20.
So they got a 1-2-2 defense here, zone. Sakai running their zone offense with a little perimeter movement, trying to confuse the Lions.
Wow. Avent barrels in, misses. Lawrence misses the follow-up, but rebounds her own miss. A lot of physical play going on. Pump fake, drive, and a off-balance J is a miss. Here come the Lions, 3-2 to the wing. Off Donald, lost for a turnover. Avent knocks down the defender, and they're going to call a block against the Lions.
Yeah, good call by the official right there. She wasn't quite, didn't have her feet in position to be able to take that charge. You can see right here, she's leaning back as the Dragon approaches her.
Well, I tell you, Avent does not hesitate on taking her shots.
Nope.
She's off the bench, and I think she's outshot everybody on both teams so far.
She feels comfortable out there, even though she's missed some shots, and she's just going to let it go. She's figuring the percentages are going to catch up. And Coach Masari must feel the same way about her because she's given the opportunity to play through it. Sometimes as coaches, we're too quick at taking kids out of the ball game when they're missed a couple of shots like that. You know, it's like if they're a good shooter, the percentages come around, they're going to knock down 3 or 4 in a row. That's just what it is.
So, Adriana Avent to the stripe. She knocked down the first one and has them both. Substitutions for both squads. McMillan back in for Sac, courtesy Clark. Replaces Lowry for the Lions.
And Lowry gave them, she got picked up a couple fouls, but she did play some good defense in there, got a rebound or two, and she was able to spell Clark to get her a little bit of a break and come back fresh.
Into the post, a kick out, tapped away, and salvaged by Tourney, who's back in with 2 fouls. Stolen away, and it's a foul on Tourney. And she claims she got fouled and is upset about that exchange.
I believe that's 3 on Tourney.
It is.
That's a loss. Now McClatchy's deep, so they'll come back probably with Cruz right here. Sure, Cruz got a nice break on that last 2 or 3 minutes as well, so got some good rest.
To the stripe, Ryan Walters, and she's got number 1.
Ryan Walters looks really good out there at the free throw line, but she just steps it up there. Nice, calm, very smooth, all in rhythm, and knocks down those shots. She's an impressive player.
Well, from here to the end of the half, double bonus free throwing for the Dragons as Tourney comes out of the ball game very upset. 1 out of 2, nice rebounding by Clark.
Ooh, that was a double dribble right there, and the officials on the other side of the body couldn't see it.
27-23, Deep J drained by Donald.
It's the ice woman. I'm telling you, she's making a difference. What a great asset to come off of the bench to be able to knock down that. Got ice water in her veins.
Lawrence
Look at that
stolen
steal.
away by Donald.
She's just all over the place.
What a veteran. She's got 10 in this quarter off the bench. Straight away, Jay. Pow!
Yeah, and that's what happens. She collapses the defense, turns around, and makes another big play. It's not just the 10 points. It's the 2 or 3 steals. It's the 2 or 3 assists. I mean, so far, she's been the outstanding player on the floor in the first half for McClatchy, and they got a bunch of them.
Up 10 are the Lions. Tap away and a steal by Hall. A sack turnover, 2-1. Cruz to the trailer, and it's going to be a charge on Cruz to destroy the fast break.
Wow. I'd like to see that one over again because I was watching the pass, and it looked to me like she was, let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's moving, if anything. Personally, I don't think they should have called anything on that. That should have been a no call at all. It didn't really involve anything into the play.
And I think many of the fans in the proximity are in full agreement with that. Okay, there's the sack bench, and there's head coach Michele Masari in her 9th season. And you saw that tremendous one-loss record we posted at the top of the show. 4 section titles, 7 Metro titles, 7 times to the NorCal playoffs.
Well, she's won 75% of her games. I mean, if you win 3 out of 4, that's just outstanding record. Certainly a credit to her program, to the school, and the athletes that have attended Sacramento High School.
So they're still getting things straightened away. They wiped up a wet spot on the baseline. Coming back in, Avent for the Dragons, replacing Rebecca Brown. So the sack inbound, 2.5 to go, late second. This game has exploded with intensity, but right now, McClatchy up 10.
Well, this 1-2-2 zone defense right here, the 3-2 out front, has really changed the ball game for the Dragons. They're not getting the open shots they were getting earlier. They're getting some penetration off of it getting by, but they've done a nice job on the perimeter. McClatchy has of stopping that ball getting to the basket.
Wow, a foul apparently on Lowry on what looked like a clean block, but it's going to place the Dragons at the line in the person of Speedy McMillan.
Yeah, and I don't want this to come off bad because I think both these officials are very good officials, but they didn't really set that kind of a tone in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the game. It was a pretty aggressive game. It was, I don't think there was any dirty moves in there or anything like that, but now every little piece is happening is kind of the whistles being blown all over the place, maybe a little early. I mean, that's a 50-50 call, that one, I see. It's not a bad call, but the kids are used to playing a little bit more physical, and now they have to step back a little bit.
2 out of 2 from the stripe, and Speedy is into the scoring column with her first points.
And Speedy back off the bench has 3 fouls, right? So it's a big thing, a big risk right here.
2:05, the late second. Donald has been dynamite since coming off the Lion bench. Cruz, not this time, but Clark hustles the rebound.
I tell you, Cruz, she just reminds me of a little bit. And I'm not going to hope this isn't off base too much, but Sarah James from Oak Ridge, a player a few years ago. That she's kind of got the same movements a little bit. I don't know, am I off on that one? I didn't see Sarah play a heck of a lot, but that's who she reminds me of.
There are some similarities as the ball goes over to Sack on the tap out of bounds. It comes at 1:49, late second, and Sack trying to chip away at that 10-point deficit that's now become 8. Cautious dribble up the floor. Sasha Brown setting things up. Avent quick to pull the trigger, does so again. Back rim. Sasha Brown rebound. Cross court, it goes to Ryan Walters. Nowhere to go, and a kick out. Wow, so drag and a travel.
I think Sac High would do themselves a favor right here to, instead of dribbling all the time, is what happens is the McClatchy zone catches up. Move the ball with a pass. Pass. That way there's closeouts. Now you have more opportunities to go by people and get into those gaps and have the defense react. Then you've got open three-point shooters.
That's why you're up here, Kevin. Deep J on the way, a miss, but Hall rebounds it, and the Lions reload. Donald sneaks inside and has a shot blocked. Loose ball on the floor. Look at the players dive.
What hustle.
Sack comes up with it. Here's Walters. Archback J is down.
Really tough shot right there by Walters. Got her head up, bang, knocked it down from free throw line. Beautiful play.
Clark spins inside, down.
There's that spin move. Now you're going to the last. This happened to the end of the first quarter too, where there was a lot of possessions going back and forth down the floor. Let's see who can carry the momentum right here.
Whistle and a foul on the drive. Shimizu knocked down.
Yeah, she got there just a tad late, it looked like to me. It was a great effort, though, but just a little late.
It's her second foul, and double bonus is still in effect here. So Sasha Brown stands in and too strong on number 1.
Can't help but think that free throws down the stretch is going to make a difference. With both teams playing so hard, everybody already a little bit tired, not used to playing against this type of opponent every day. They're already a little bit tired. Free throws could be a big factor at the end of the ball game.
1 out of 2 for Sasha Brown. Trying to bite into that deficit. Rebecca Brown in, Sasha Brown out. Unrelated. So 37 seconds. Here come the Lions up the floor with Cameron Hall. Now it's Courtesy Clark. Working against an extended sack pressure. And whistle and a foul. It's a reach in. Cruz got fouled. And that is foul, team foul 10.
A pretty unnecessary foul right there. I'm not so sure that should have reached in there to get that.
So Cruz to the line. A good touch from there. And she misses number 1. Now both clubs in the double bonus.
Yeah, right there. Right there, a little surprised that Cruz wouldn't have knocked that one down.
Cruz, number 2, short, missed them both. Quickly up the floor, 19 seconds. Ryan Walters straight away, 12 seconds. A bubble and a turnover. That's 6 turnovers on Sack. McClatchy 4 of them. Back in, Courtesy Clark. Sitting down for the Lions, Narcisa and Walkie. So 6 seconds left. Hall's going to have to hustle. Cruz can shoot from there. A kick out. Clark, a miss at the buzzer. We have played 2 and we're halfway home here on Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week. And this one has been a doozy thus far. A second quarter rally by McClatchy has placed the Lions on top 35-28 at the intermission. Don't wander off because we'll be joining Rick Stewart and he'll have a little chat here with Sac High head coach Michele Masari, and certainly there's going to be some interesting comments made here by both head coaches at the half. Let's turn our attention down to floor level.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Sac High.
Okay,
all right,
let's
Coach,
join
first
Rick.
half impression?
Terrible for us. They came out on fire, like attacking us, and we let them do it. So we have to do what we do. I didn't recognize my team on that first half.
What was the single key that you didn't recognize?
We're just doing too much of our own stuff and not what we do.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. All right, Will, Kevin, send it back up to you.
Well, thanks. If Michele Masari didn't recognize her team there, then I'm sure there's going to be some major discussion and adjustments at the intermission. Don't go away. The show just getting underway as you see this great Sac High dance troupe with the cheerleaders. The band is here and the crowd is jumping. Stick around.
They're in a break right now. I'm going to talk with Marco. We'll take a break and we'll come back to W. Is that okay?
Yeah, I got.
I knew that.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Preoccupation with objects is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
What are you, superheroes?
Just four brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Gear up, guys.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. It's got nothing to do with fairness. Bam. Your whole world changes in an instant. And you never see it coming. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke. I'm Paul George, and I want you to learn the signs of a stroke fast. F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Protect the ones you love. Spot a stroke. F-A-S-T. Fast.
$35-28 the score at halftime, and I'm here with Athletic Director Marco Lopez. Marco, first and foremost, what a game.
Awesome game, man. Awesome. Crosstown rival here, McClatchy. Great opponent. Number 1 against number 2. Couldn't have it any better.
How was the mood on campus this week as we built up to the game?
It's been brewing for about 2 weeks. Everybody's been waiting for this game. We have a huge crowd. We have our VIP seating. We have a great atmosphere, music, electric. It's a good time.
Now, I see the VIP seating. I thought that was for me, but what's that really for?
It's for our senior athletes that come out here that don't often get the recognition, but we use this spectacle, this spotlight, to really highlight them.
One other thing that I haven't seen before in all the games that I've been doing here, the bleachers on the home side, the scoreboard side, the bench side are out tonight. You expected a big crowd.
We definitely did, and we want to give everybody what they want, a great platform, a great show, and more than anything, we just want everybody to have a good time out here.
Is there a letdown on campus next week after a game like this, win or lose?
No, we're going into the playoffs. We know it's going to be a tough road, but we couldn't ask for a better opponent, especially having McClatchy here, which is a great opponent, top of the top, and we can't wait for the playoffs.
How's baseball look this year?
Baseball's looking good. We're out there fixing the field. The weather hasn't helped too much, but we should be all right.
Now, we were talking with Coach Reber earlier, football-wise. Now, rumor has it playing Folsom, maybe there, maybe somewhere else to get a little bit more crowd?
Yeah, we're definitely trying to open up the seating because we know it's a hot ticket. We know Folsom wants revenge from last year, and we're more than happy to be a gracious host for them. They're a great group out there.
Not only that, but invite somebody in for maybe a second dish of revenge.
Oh, man, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Marco, thanks for having us here tonight. We appreciate all the support.
Thank you guys for being here.
All right, it's our pleasure. 35-28 the score at halftime. McClatchy leads. Number 2 leads number 1. We'll be right back.
Here's to the things that can keep us safe. Those we use all the time with hardly a thought. Those that are silently standing by to save our lives. And now, those that we carry with us everywhere we go. Many mobile devices will now bring you wireless emergency alerts, real-time information directly from local sources you know and trust, With the unique sound and vibration, you'll be in the know wherever you are.
The score at halftime. McClatchy in the lead over Sac. Number 2 needs number 1. That's what we want, spirit in the game. I've got Jackie Wada with me. Jackie, first and foremost, you played in this game as a Lion and as a great outside shooter. How did you look at this game as a player? How important was it?
This game was really important. It's really hard to play in this gym. Like, there's a lot of people. It's very nerve-wracking. So it kind of comes down to a mental game. Like, you have to stay in it as a team, as an individual. Like, you just have to really stay as a team when you play games like this.
Now, this is your first year coaching the JV team here at McClatchy. Is it different as a coach coming into a game like this?
Not at all. Like, I told the girls, like, I'm nervous. I feel like I was playing. It's still Sac High against McClatchy. It's the same exact feeling. I just warned my girls, like, even though we had an undefeated season, like, this is going to be a big game. Like, it's still very, very hard to play in a gym like this. Like, you gotta stick as a team.
As you look at the game so far tonight, what's McClatchy doing right?
McClatchy's staying in it. They're staying in it. They're being very mentally strong. If you make mistakes, just get back up. It's a long way to go. It's a long half, so just keep going, keep pushing.
All right, Jackie, thanks for spending a couple of minutes with me. I appreciate it. 35-28, there's our halftime score. We'll send it out. We'll be right back. Thanks, Jackie. I appreciate it.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
35-28, the halftime score here with Coach Oda. Coach, first half impressions. You got up by 10. Nobody expected that.
We control the boards. As long as we control the rebounding, they'll be in our favor. Because the second time we played them, they beat us on the boards, and that's how they beat us.
What's going to be the real key, other than rebounding?
Stops and rebounds, and then run our offense.
Are you satisfied with the first half, what you've seen?
So far, but we got to move the ball better. Sometimes the ball's sticking in people's hands. We need to pass and cut harder.
All right, good luck in the second half. All right, we're going to send it back upstairs to Will and Kevin. 35-28, great game.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stewart. It is a great game thus far, and this crowd has really responded. A raucous crowd, I must say, and lots of excitement and energy buzzing in the crowd as you see some of the players down there from McClatchy. 2 former Sac High Dragons, Michele Tourney on the left, Courtesy Clark on the right. And let me make a correction. Jackie Wada, who we saw Rick interview a short time ago, I did not realize that her term at Cosumnes Oaks High School had expired, and she is now head coach of the McClatchy JV team. So she has come home, and it should be noted that Jackie Wada, known as a 3-ball specialist in her playing career under Harvey Tahara and the Lions. I'll tell you, Kevin, this is a monster number. In her time at McClatchy High, Jackie Wada drilled 306 3-balls. And I have to do some more research to see where she ranks in section history, but that's a whole lot of Wada.
75 threes on average a year, 76, somewhere right around there. That's an outstanding amount. It's fun. You say that, you brought up the man again. I was wondering how many times we were going to mention Harvey Tahara tonight. But, Jeff Oda, Jackie Wada. It's just amazing what kind of an impact that man has had on the basketball community at McClatchy and in the area of Sacramento.
How about this impact? 40 years of coaching at McClatchy. He had the boys from 79 to 94 and then again 95-96. He had the girls from 94-95, then 2001 to 2011, 500 combined career victories, and that included a 2007 Girls Division I Sac Joaquin section title in a victory over the Kennedy Cougars.
And, all of that is just unbelievable, all the stats and everything like that. But the impact on the community, the impact on the number of players, you see all of his players coaching somewhere or still playing, doing things for the community, stuff like that. The man did it right. I mean, it's just he's a legend in my mind when I think about it, not just because of what he did inside that square out there on the floor and on the wood, but the impact that he had on young people around the entire McClatchy community for all the years he was there. And the man's a Hall of Famer in my book.
He is in the Hall of Fame, and I was hoping Harvey would be here tonight, but unable to attend as I understand it. And there is our vaunted split-screen image of our opposing head coaches, our coaching counterparts. To the left, Michele Masari guiding the Dragons, and McClatchy's Jeff Oda to the right as we get ready to open second quarter action here at Hotel Pavilion on the campus of Sacramento High School. High post Hall, defended by Blunt. Falling down in the key, Tourney. We've seen her fall 3 times already. Cruz unable to shake loose, being relentlessly badgered on defense. Lowry a kick out to Clark, who fires away. Not this time. Nice rebounding effort by Lowry. And she's called for a travel after being knocked off balance by 2 Dragons.
That was a good job getting to the board. She kind of got penalized for getting a rebound right there. She came out off balance. Maybe the official might have missed a little shove. But
you're being so kind, Kevin.
Me, if I sit on the bench, I'd be screaming at the officials. So, that's not, I'm not always proud to say that, but I fight for my kids.
There you go. As well you should. It's called loyalty. Okay, Sasha Brown, entry pass. Blunt turns. Shot contested, rebounds her miss, and flips it in.
Wow, she looked like the rubber band man. She got that thing all the way back behind her net, and to all that athletic ability to be able to still get it up over the front rim. Nice effort.
Clark, pass tapped away from Cruz, who doesn't hustle after it, and it's picked off by Walters. Take it strong, a layup, missed! Follow up, short, but a foul on Lowry.
Yeah, right there, you see 3 McClatchy players trailing the play right there, not getting back into the play. And I guarantee you Jeff Oda saw that too. And he's going to go back to some energy right here, bringing in the Ice Woman.
That would be Donald as Speedy McMillan winds up at the stripe. And I didn't really see any good hustle out of Cruz on that play, going for the tap away.
I didn't. It was interesting. I think she thought that she underestimated the speed of the defender right there and just thought she could body her out of the way. And that was, not the right move right there. As you see, Cruz is going to take a sheet, and I'm probably going to hear about that a little bit.
I would think so. She and Lowry come out. Shimizu enters along with Donald. As Speedy McMillan's going to try to salvage the back end of this 2 free throw opportunity. And cannot. Nice run down. Donald, boy, she sure closes on the rock.
Yeah, she does.
Take
really
it
quick.
Strong. Short on the layup. Good defensive position, and Lawrence boards it and outlets. Gathers the return. Walters from deep range, down!
And that was one of my keys going into the second half for Sac High. I thought they really need to shoot the ball from the perimeter better, and their shot selection needed to be good. If they're making those shots, they need to take some more. They also need to figure out how to get by that McClatchy zone defense, and you can do that in transition. So Coach Oda is not happy right now.
He called
very
a
competitive
30.
guy, too.
Oh.
From back in the day. And I know that I actually played in a tournament he did. Believe it or not, we're that old. Together up at South Tahoe in 1970, I think it was 7 or 8. And he was an outstanding player back then and super competitive.
Okay, we got something special coming up for you. It's our postseason playoff pass opening around Tuesday the 21st. And not far behind that, 3 days later on Friday the 24th, second round coverage. Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week will be there for you. Postseason coverage. Can't wait.
Some of the keys for McClatchy, I think, in the second half is they've got to stop penetration from Sac High and not allow those players to get into the paint. And they've got to convert some easy opportunities, which they didn't do in the first half and could have easily been up another 6 to 8 points. Both teams need to shoot free throws, limit turnovers, and then the coaches need to utilize their benches with all this foul trouble.
So 5 straight points by the Dragons makes it a 2-point game. Here's Walters on Donald. Feed low, wide open. Bank shot sweet by Blunt.
Nice job by Blunt using her body to shield the defender away and have an easier shot at making that.
Tourney blocked out of bounds. Wow, I'll tell you, Ryan Walters is playing the game.
Yeah, Walters hustled back right there and reached down nice and low right there. Didn't go high against the stronger Tourney, which he might have been able to convert that as a 3-point play. Very smart defensive move right there.
McClatchy's 10-point lead is a memory. We're tied at 35. Early third, Jay on the way. Not this time. Nice rebounding effort there, Sasha Brown.
You see a renewed energy by Sac High. I think Michele, Masari was very upset. You can see when Rick was talking to her that she probably got into him pretty good down there. Said, hey, this is our house. We have to play a better ball game here.
Open Jay from the corner is a miss. Nice box out by Hall.
Yeah, their big people can dribble the ball too. Hall, Tourney, Cruz, they all can bring the ball up the floor.
Shimizu drives it into a crowd and a kick out. Here's Hall's jumper. Down.
Now they break the ice right there a little bit. That was a pretty good run right there by Sac High.
So Hall has the jumper for her 7th point, and correction, for her 8th point. Up 3 are the visiting Lions. Jump shot missed by Walters. Offside board. Sasha Brown put back. No. Leaping board by Donald. Loses it. A loose ball. Scrambled for it. Time out, Sac. Wow.
Yeah, good hustle right there by both teams. I think Walters probably took a poor shot right there. She was, I need to run some offense, and Michele talked about that. A little bit too much one-on-one type play. They need to move the ball offensively. That'll help too, because against that defense, that zone defense they're playing, if the ball's moving, the typically slower McClatchy player is going to be closing out, and the Sac High will then have the room to get to the basket.
Well, Sacramento High School has some academic giants of their own. As you saw us preview, McClatchy's on a roll, all-stars in the first half. And I know Michele Masari is very proud of these Dragons.
Well, you got 7 of them on the list. That's outstanding, led by Speedy McMillan and Rebecca Brown at 4.0. Again, can't emphasize that more than what we've already talked about. It just opens so many doors for you. Great job, ladies.
Hitting the books hard are these two squads and their head coaches.
Their college coaches are looking for well-rounded athletes that can be community strong, academically strong, on the floor strong, be great teammates. They're looking for that, and it's so competitive out there. There are so many good players that you have to make yourself that well-rounded. So you got to look at all those different aspects of your game. It's not just about your jump shot. It's about what you're looking at in the classroom and paying attention and doing a good job there as well, and as a community member.
Well said, Kevin Kelly. So after a momentary pause here, it'll be Sac basketball. We're getting some clarification at the official table. Sasha Brown, far side inbound, gets it to McMillan. Shimizu right on her. 5-minute mark, still early third. Up 3 are the Lions.
And McClatchy's been stuck on that 35 since halftime.
A-Vent, a miss, but here's another deep J. Wow, a wild miss by Walters. Out of bounds, it should be to McClatchy here as we see Blunt come in and Lawrence sit down for the Dragons. So the 3 ball by Hall broke the skid after Sac had wiped out the 10-point deficit.
Yeah. I mean, they've been outscored 10-3 since the half after, basically outscoring Sac High 21-12 in the second quarter. So complete reversal here. Look at the Dragons have done it with defense. There's a lot more intent out there right now. They're a lot quicker. Nice move by Cruz.
Blocking foul against Sac, and Cruz has been absolutely defensed out for the most part, and she has to settle for plays like that just to get some field goal attempts. Terrific Dragons defense on the Lions' leading scorer.
Here they've really taken her out of the game as a scorer. She's done other things as a passer, rebounder, setting up plays and doing things. See, she takes the baseline right here in the high closeout, and the block is the Sac High player's a little late there and gets called for the block, which was the correct call.
So they call that foul number 3 on McMillan as Cruz hits the first free throw after having missed a pair back in the first half.
And she's competitive as heck. I'm sure that those 2 of those free throws that she missed were really stinging.
3 points in the ball game. Remember, she averages 16, but the Dragon defense has been superior.
Wow, look at that hustle on the floor by both those players.
Clark steals it. Took it right away from Walters. Back to Cruz, inside, bank shot, good.
And that was all Clark. That was all Clark. I'll hustle on the floor with the pass, everything. Cruz is the beneficiary of Clark's great play.
41-35, a spurt by the Lions, and a turnover now here by the Dragons.
I think the Dragons are starting to get a little bit tired. They had that big run for the first 4 minutes right there. You see the steal by Clark right there, just outstanding play, and then her head up, making the pass, seeing Cruz come down the floor, and the finish. The change in tempo right now, it's starting to swing back a little bit to McClatchy. I think Sakai might be a little bit tired. She's going to switch up defenses here a little bit. Now they're going to stay man.
Donald to Shimizu on the point, running things for the Lions. Here's Hall firing away. Down!
Big shot by the postman from McClatchy, hitting that deep 3. That was a huge, huge shot.
Suddenly the Lions are up 9 after having been tied. Here's a turnover, back-to-back. Shimizu taking it strong.
Oh.
Wow. Defenders moving all over the place. It's going to be a charge on Shimizu.
Yeah, and I can understand Shimizu going in there trying to get that, and I do believe that was definitely not a charge. I think, that was not. However,
lousy call
I'm
there.
thinking the Shimizu pulls up at the free throw line there, or maybe 12, 15, 16 feet right there, and has the shot. There's nobody there. Why go into the land of the Giants when you can turn around and make that shot? She was just trying to draw a foul, but maybe she would have been better off pulling up.
And she would have been better off had it been a good call.
Well, that's true too.
Lawrence tied up by Hall. Gets it to Walters. McMillan to Walters. 3:15 to go. Flip side of quarter number 3. Nice to have you with us here on Access Sacramento's hometown sports game of the week.
A lot of standing around by the Dragons on offense right now.
Walters, a corner J, is down. Three ball.
That's a good shot right there, but they basically touched two players' hands the whole time. Get everybody involved in it.
A turnover. Careless ball handling, both teams. Little bit shabby.
Uh-oh.
Wide open. Rebecca Brown a miss. Nobody boxing out. And the follow-up knocked out of bounds by Donald to save an A-vent layup.
Well, Donald sprinted back down there to fill that back lane that she's actually responsible for boxing out. I got there late. Was fortunate enough to be able to knock the ball out of bounds. She's got to get there a little quicker and box out on that on the weak side.
Tourney in, Shimizu out as the Lions go bigger. However, Sackle inbound, baseline left. McMillan to put it in with 2:44 to go here late in the third.
Now, both teams' substitution patterns are going to play a big point in this last 10 minutes of the ball game.
Here comes the inbound. A poor pass, unexpected by Walters. It's off her hand, out of bounds. Sakai turnover, unforced. Hall snapped to the head. Cruz wide open, down, and that's the first good look she's had tonight from 3-ball range.
Yep, and is she going to be now stepping up? We talked earlier in the pregame and sometimes in the first quarter we were mentioning who's going to step up and make 2 or 3 big plays. That was a big play right there. Gives the Lions some separation at 9 points.
Avent trying to answer and cannot. Donald has the defensive board, gets through a reach-in, layup, down!
Donald's energy just so many times during the ball game has made a difference, and right there is another spot where it did.
Up 11, largest lead, but a sneak out, kick out, Avent, whistle and a foul.
Avent exploded to the basket right there. She's going to pick up the opportunity to go to the line, but I'm not so sure she didn't travel on that. She caught and went pretty fast. Let's see if she had that pivot foot down. Oh, there's Cruz knocking down the 3. She just got squared up. Yeah, nice in-rhythm shot.
She's headed to Utah on basketball scholarship. Hall sits down and checking back in, Samaya Beatty for the Lions. 2-minute mark. Walters, trigger happy, one and done. Beatty trapped, outlet picked off, Blunt feeds low. Sasha Brown banks it home.
And that's where the Dragons have an advantage. Oh, bad. Oh, they got lucky on that.
Tourney with the layup.
Yeah, Cruz looking up the floor. Didn't quite have enough on the pass, but it just tipped right into Tourney's hands. And happy birthday. Got a layup.
Heavy traffic and a whistle and a foul as Brown takes a fall.
Little helter-skelter out there right now, and things are a little out of control. Getting down the end of the quarter. It happened at the end of the first quarter, happened at the end of the second quarter. As fatigue starts to kick in right here, you're just seeing everybody a little bit out of control.
Major foul trouble for McClatchy as Brown stands to the line.
Wow, you got a couple players with 4 and 3 with 3. The bench is going to have to be utilized. But he's done a nice job of getting some other players in the ball game so they're not coming out cold. You know, Beatty and getting into the game was helpful for a couple of minutes. So he's got a nice bench.
Coach Oda moving the chess pieces. 4 fouls on Tourney, 4 on Lowry. Pair of starters. Courtesy Clark set to check back in. And a miss on number 2 by Sasha Brown. Out of bounds to the Lions. 51-41, Lions by 10. 1:27 late third. Jamizu to Hall on the inbound. She's badgered, poked away and stolen. And a tie-up. Alternating possession to the arrow's pointing to Sac High. Then they do get the rock at the turnover. As you see Michele Masari applauding that defensive effort.
The pressure of Sac High in the backcourt, McClatchy's trying to bring up the ball up the floor, has caused McClatchy some issues in the last couple minutes here, Will.
Hall called for the foul on Blunt, who goes to the line to shoot 2. Blunt has had an active third quarter after a quiet 2 in the first half. She's come on for a couple buckets here in the third. And a miss from the stripe.
Well, we should probably mention that, her only being a sophomore, she's going to be the heartbeat of the program over the next couple of years, and a couple of other teammates that she has. There's the cabinet is not bare.
Oh no, the cupboards are full. Lane violation. There's a whistle on that second miss. Wow. Foul on Sasha Brown.
Here comes a little diamond trap press.
Donald doubled. Leaks it out to Hall, who's brushed from behind. No call. And now a foul call. So they get Avent for the third hack.
Yeah.
Notorious.
I think what happened was he kind of didn't blow the whistle, and the third hack was not nearly as bad as the first hack.
Third foul on Avent. Donald to Cruz. Tapped away and picked off. Loose ball handling, but Walters comes up with it after the steal. Straight away, Jay, a miss. Nice defensive glass pulled by Courtesy Clark. Up the floor push.
Courtesy Clark has a nice ability to do that. She can pull the ball off the glass, dribble the wall down the floor and finish. She can find teammates. She's got definitely a future in college basketball.
She's undecided right now, but as I understand it from Coach Oda, has some offers on the table. Avent sits down with her 4th foul. Back on for the Dragons, Speedy McMillan. 43 seconds left here in the third. 10-point Lion lead. Cruz, the inbound. Off balance, Jay, a miss. All the Dragons on the board. Sasha Brown to Walters. 30 seconds to go. Deep J on the way. Off the mark. And Donald comes up with a loose ball. Get it to Clark. Chase from behind. Kick to the corner. Cruz. Nice rebounding effort there, but a missed Jippy.
Wow.
Up the floor, a cherry pick and a layup for Brown. The lead is 8, 5 seconds to go. Lions will have to hustle, but Blunt called for the foul. Non-shooting.
Jenna Waukee, the last time down the floor, was the one that didn't make that last layup right there. I thought personally maybe she got hacked pretty good, but I want to call to attention her play down at the other end right before that. She did an outstanding job boxing out right down there. So another very good fundamental play by McClatchy player.
Wow, they're going to call Sasha Brown for a dead ball foul defending the inbound here along the sideline.
Well, also, McClatchy needs to come to the ball right here. There was only one player coming to the ball to help get the ball in bounds.
Clark got a hustle, jump shot short, and there is a buzzer ending the third quarter with McClatchy on top, 51-43. And let's turn our attention to Rick Stewart down at floor level. Rick?
All righty, I'm here with head coach Sac football team, Justin Reber. Justin, a lot of good things out of last year. Most importantly, the upset of Folsom. Upset not to you.
No, not to us. Our kids worked hard and we expected it. So,
going into this coming year, how big will a rematch will be that?
It's huge. We only graduated 4 seniors. We returned 17 starters, so we're excited about week 3.
So now we come down here and play, or do we play out here? Do we have something else going on?
We're in contract negotiations with Sac City to get our games over at Sacramento City College.
Wow, that'd be outstanding. Fill that place between those 2 teams?
Yeah, it'd be great.
What's going to be the key this coming year for you football?
Staying healthy and staying academically eligible.
That's always the key, staying academically eligible. Well, thank you for spending a couple of minutes with us, Justin. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, back up to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Stewart. We've played 3 here at Hotel Pavilion on the campus of Sac High, and I think everybody in attendance is exhausted after seeing this all-out effort on the floor. McClatchy by 8 points as we open the fourth, Kevin.
Yeah, interesting third quarter right there. Sac really controlled the first 4 minutes of an outstanding, outscoring McClatchy by about 10 points. The second half of the quarter was all McClatchy and basically ended up winning the quarter 16-15.
So the visitors into Cruz, who draws a foul. There was 2 Dragons there, including Walters. And we'll see who the call is on. So Cruz will be at the stripe.
See Coach Jeff Oda shouting out instructions to his teammate, or to his teams.
Cruz, a free throw, wobbles home.
Right there, the pass and cut by Cruz. Foul, got there a little bit late.
Number 2 also good. So the Lions back to a 10-point lead. 53-43. Speedy McMillan cautiously up the floor on Cruz. Beats her down the slot, feeds low. A missed layup by Lawrence. She boards her own miss and is tied up in between Hall and Clark.
I never saw that anybody but Dragon player had the ball. Did I miss something on that one?
No.
I think that I'd gotten a couple of tees tonight. I probably would have been in the showers already.
More so, yes. Michele Masari staying cool, however. Baseball on the inbound. They go straight away deep to Walters here.
And this is the player, I think, that's really going to have to do something for Sac. I think Walters has to step up here and make some of the shots she's been taking. She's had, just been off a little bit from the perimeter and for a while.
Rebecca Brown, a kick out to Sasha Brown. Looking into the post to Blunt. They feed her. Tapped away from behind and stolen away as Shimizu flipped it to Hall. Sac High turnover.
I'm impressed by the McClatchy's big people. They're doing a really nice job handling the ball. They can all dribble.
Hall down. Wow.
That tells you they're doing a lot of fundamental stuff in practice all day long, where the forwards, the guards and the centers are also doing the same thing. The forwards and centers are doing the same thing the guards are when it comes to fundamental work.
Wow. Shimizu's going to be called for a foul as Blunt got in between 3 defenders.
I think Shimizu's going to win the award for being on the floor the most tonight. She's been on the floor so much. She's probably averaging 1 per minute. Great hustle. The slide through, and Shimizu did get there late. Good call by the officials. Got to give him credit.
Foul number 4.
Ooh, 4.
Okay, Sac on the inbound. Sasha Brown to do the honors. Tapped away.
And Sasha knew she was coming to the 5-second spot and just bounced it off the defender's leg right there. Smart play.
So she'll try it again. 6:51, early fourth. 12-point lead, McClatchy, its biggest. Play knocked out of bounds. I don't know if fatigue is setting in for both squads, but seen a lot of plays where there's some watching going on.
Absolutely. Both teams are tired, and there's no question about it. You can't expend that much energy throughout the game.
Rebecca Brown fires and misses. Donald a rebound in front of Walters, and the Lions control.
And it's not just the physical aspect of it, the emotional aspect of playing in a big game like this also wears you down.
Corner J drained by Lowry.
Now that was a big shot by Lowry. Got another person off the bench coming in and doing something for Jeff Oda's squad.
57-43 as the Lions stretch their largest lead.
And that's 14-point separation right there. That's a big deal right now. And you can see Sac's probably going to have to sell out a little bit more going down the last part of the 6 minutes of the game because the McClatchy is fundamentally pretty strong. You can see the kick to the corner and the knockdown.
Just his toe on the line to prevent the three as Nia Lowry ripples the net. So we're getting a wet spot wiped up along the sideline here in front of the McClatchy bench. Jeff Oda up that Lions bench there issuing instructions as they'll walk to the Sac High end of the floor for apparent free throwing. Evidently was a foul on Courtesy Clark, her second. So it places Dragons at the stripe in the person of Blunt here with 6:18 to go, and the Dragons looking up at a 14-point deficit, and it's a clunker that wobbles home.
Every point's going to count now. As you start to get closer to the end of the ball game, all of these free throws mean more and more to both teams.
Number two, rebound, Clark. 1 out of 2.
Uh-oh, I think she twisted an ankle or something. Or maybe she has a cramp. It's a cramp.
Better than something serious.
Yeah, I think it's a cramp, I'm hoping.
Well, we spoke of fatigue, but we haven't yet talked about dehydration, which kind of goes hand in hand, especially in a hot gym, expending this much energy.
It absolutely does. And, fortunately, I'm happy to say if it is a cramp, that's a great sign. And it's not anything that is serious. But you take a time out here. Give yourself a little bit of a chance to rest. Not only that, it helps the rest of your players rest a little bit, and I'll try to bring her back here in a minute or two as soon as that thing goes away.
Former Dragon Courtesy Clark in for 13 points in tonight's contest as we see Michele Masari taking this opportunity to circle her ball club and say, look here, you got 6:12 to go. We're still in this game. Let's get it together.
Now they're going to have to exert some pressure on McClatchy. McClatchy's going to have to make some mistakes here, and the Dragons are going to have to capitalize on this.
Now we see Clark still being attended to. And let's take a look and see if there's anything more we can determine.
Yep, she's fine. She just starts to dribble, and there it is. Oh, ouch, ouch. Oh, I had that so many times. It hurts so bad. I tell you. Oh, painful.
So continuing attention by the McClatchy trainer. Happy to see that. And we'll see if they remove her from the floor. And we'll take, I'm reluctant to step away here, but let's take a quick 30 and come right back. As she's still down on the floor. So stay with us.
Superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city.
Well, Courtesy Clark, we're happy to see her coming off unassisted with a slight limp from that severe cramp we just saw. So we'll resume action here as they wipe up a wet spot. 6:12 to go. Let's reset this for you. 57-44. McClatchy has dominated the second half of the third quarter and the opening of the fourth, and the Dragons are going to have to climb a high mountain. Donald gets the relay and sends it ahead. Nice change of direction, but a missed layup by Lowry.
That's a big play.
Walters, a kick out and a three on the way. Sasha Brown misses flat. Rebound Dragons. And Walters has the board.
And in order to beat the press, you got to do a couple things. Number one is you have to score at the end of it, or you have to pull the ball out and make the opposite team that's pressing you play some defense for a while because they're tired from the press. And that's how you get easy shots. If you do not make shots or do not pull that out, make them play defense for a while, you're even if they don't steal the ball, it's still an effective press.
Well, Kevin Kelly, I'm not sure what the recommended diet is for somebody suffering from a cramp, but Courtesy Clark is getting it, whatever it is, as we see Sac High back to the foul line in the person of Blunt here with 5:45 to go. Substitution Lions. Chimizu comes back in.
A little mustard to the name of the game on that cramp remedy. The preferred remedy for the Lions.
A miss on the front end by Blunt, bobbled out of bounds by Sasha Brown, and the Lions have it.
And those are the points that you just hate to see happen as a coach. Oh, you got an opportunity, you shave off a point here, a point here, a point there, right there, a missed free throw, just an opportunity not taken advantage of.
Here's the extended pressure you spoke of, and it's an interception, but a wild hook misses everything. Follow-up, no good. Bobbled by Lowry. 4 players after it, and 3 players hit the deck. What a scramble. My goodness. Fatigue is overriding the hustle right now.
Absolutely, and that's why you're missing those close shots right there. You just got to focus so much harder, and that your body's telling you, I'm tired. So you got to think right through that, and you just got to keep your head up on the rim and just finish that shot. Know that you're going to get a rest after another 5 minutes and 28 seconds should you not go to overtime.
I thought the Dragons just had the last possession arrow. Okay, they're giving this to the Lions. Cruz to Hall. Why is she handling? Whistle.
And that's the nice thing about Hall. She can bring the ball up the floor. I mean, and she's usually matched up against somebody that may not be as quick as she is or not quite as good as athlete. And it creates a little bit of a mismatch. And it gives the guards from McClatchy a little bit of a break. We questioned that going into the game. Coach Oda had changed the starting lineup a little bit, but so far it's proven to be a pretty good thing for him using the bigger players to bring the ball up the floor.
Cameron Hall continues to be excellent. The sophomore post, the 6-footer who got her baptism to this rivalry a year ago in a 60-55 victory at McClatchy, is having a splendid sophomore year. Drains a pair.
Both of these programs are so set up for the next few years. We're going to see this outstanding and exciting rivalry just continue.
Speedy McMillan. Now it's Walters, defended by Donald, into the post. Blunt on Hall. Kick out.
Ooh, traveled.
Down. Sasha Brown.
Nice shot by Sasha. Got her feet set right there. Caught the feed, turned, face, squared away, and knocked it down.
59-47, Lions by a dozen.
Well, great job breaking the press right there. And see, you're going to make them run some offense. Oh, we're not so sure Coach Oda wanted that shot.
Lowry, air ball.
Yeah, that's where you got to make Sac play some defense. They're tired. No reason to fire up a quick three right there. You've got a 10, 12-point lead.
Still a long way to go. 4.5. Hall, a reach over the top, and a foul on the Lions post.
Man, the Lion postman, the defensive postman, they've been able to get away with tapping the ball away several times right there. That time, fatigue is in. Hall's a little bit tired. She didn't quite just reach. She got into her with the body right there. You see the rotation of the pass and knock down nothing but net right there.
Sasha Brown with the J. And back to the stripe are the Dragons. Blunt has been making a living up there. Long look. And she drops it.
When you're looking up at the clock as a coach, as you're running down these minutes, you want to knock certain parts of that lead off. So if you're down by 12 at 6 minutes, you want to be at 10 by 5. You want to be at 8 by 4, maybe 5 by 3, so that you're right in the ball game. And then the number of possessions will really make a difference. You coach that way down toward the end.
Extended pressure. Let's see if the Lions can break it. They do. Shimizu to Hall. Now to Donald, who's doubled. Stay in the slot. Layup, good.
Nice move by Donald to finish right there.
Donald with 14 in the ball game. A stellar performance off the bench. Walters in a crowd. Ball out of bounds to McClatchy. Sack turnover.
Yeah, Walters trying a little bit too much to do a little bit too much right there. Coach Masari going to take a timeout, settle their team down, saying, hey, we got to make a 12-point run in 4 minutes and 10 seconds.
We're midway fourth, and this crowd's been treated. Let's take a look at Kamari Donald.
Here just went kind of the right, brought it back to her left, away from the defense, got it up on the rim and got the nice roll.
Now she's been splendid. A veteran player, a member of that 2014 state title team, and off the bench tonight for 14.
You know, I think about her in this game, and I think that there's no way the score is what it is if she's not on the floor.
No doubt, no doubt. Well, the band's kicking in. The drums are trying to get the Dragons motivated here. Both clubs exhausted. My scorecard is filled with fouls, and there is part of our raucous crowd here at Hotel Pavilion, Sacramento High School for this Metro League showdown. A victory tonight by Sac High will give the Dragons the Metro League title. A victory by McClatchy, and they will split the title.
And this is big, not just for that, but it also gives momentum going into the playoffs, and knowing that you beat the other one 2 out of 3 is a huge deal here since we're in the rubber match of this 3-game set.
Final instructions being issued at each respective bench area, and there's some kind of a question at the timetable with our game referee, Bill Harrigan, over there. And we want to remind you that at the conclusion of tonight's game, there's Coach Douglas there, who just coached an excellent freshman game a short time earlier in their victory over St. Francis. But at the conclusion of tonight's game, Rick Stewart will be interviewing our players of the game and tonight's winning coach.
Well, and you have announcer's fatigue. You missed a sentence in your long, illustrious career there. Are you getting a little tired today?
I have to say yes.
Well, the pace of this game will do it to you well.
Okay, so Sac sets up in extended full court pressure. Cruz will inbound for the Lions. 4:10 to go. We're midway fourth. And they play catch, and Cruz knocked down, foul against Sac, and this will be called on Rebecca Brown.
McClatchy has all 5 players up from that half-court line into where the ball's being inbounds to give them enough players to release the pressure against the double team. So somebody's always going to be open. And with the big girls down there, the center and the forwards taking the ball out of bounds, they can look over the top of the smaller Sac High players and make easier passes. It's a nice job on the press offense there by the Lions.
Well, Cruz to the McClatchy foul line. This is kind of where you want to be if you're in Jeff Oda's position, with opportunity to get some free throws and stretch the lead.
Well, this is who you want at the line. I mean, this is your best player.
After missing 2 in the first half, she's clicked on 4 out of 5 here in the second half.
And the official is warning right there the Sac High player for stepping into Cruz. The shot, she was boxing her out. And Cruz had a little bit of a misstep right there.
2 out of 2, all net. 63-49.
Whoops, somebody's back open.
A wild flip, missed, and Shimizu's back for the rebound. Up the floor, it goes to Hall, and they spread out and back up. They're swarmed, however, into the post. Lowry blocked out of there by Blunt, but it comes to Donald. Shimizu holds back now and resets.
Run shot clock right here. Give yourself, even a run time off. Time is the enemy for Sac High. and it's the ally of the Lions.
Into the post. Foul on Blunt.
And nothing kills you more as a coach. You get all the way down to 3 seconds left on the shot clock, and you commit a foul. It drove me crazy. Right there. I mean, McClatchy's going to have to make a play with 3 seconds. Now they got opportunity for 2 free throws here.
Lowry to the stripe. Front end is good.
And the Lions are clutching up on these free throws, knocking them down, extending this lead.
So Neil Lowry, 5'11" soft, drops a pair of free throws, and at the stripe, the Lions are making it mighty tough for the Dragons to make a comeback.
Yeah, and the key now for the Lions on defense is just to play soft defense. Make Sakai take a lot of time to bring the ball up the floor. Takes time off the clock.
Walters a miss. Shimizu the rebound. Splits 2 defenders. Taking it strong. Blocked out of bounds. Nice hustle. Sasha Brown. Largest lead of the game as the Lions have pretty much busted this one wide open. Still a ways to go, however, but they've stretched it to 16.
Yeah, and there's a lot that can be learned in this last 3 minutes and 16 seconds for both teams. Sac has got to finish it strong to set up another opportunity. They may see them again in the playoffs later on down the road. It'll be a big game. You know, McClatchy's going to try and have to hold out and say, hey, we're the best team in the Metro, so we're going to control the rest of this game, and we're going to go into the playoffs as the hotter, better team.
Donald to Tourney. Now it's Hall taking it inside and a kick out. Shimizu short. Lowry fighting for the board. It goes to Tourney. Blocked out of there by Blunt and grabbed. Dragons have the rock. Intercepted by Hall.
Hall's made good, smart plays this whole down the stretch right here. Just kind of, she's a calming presence on the floor as a sophomore. She's going to be a great leader for them for the next 2 years.
Lowry, 2.5 to go. This one's slipping away from the Dragons. Sasha Brown down the baseline, takes a fall. Whistle and a foul on the Lions.
She sure has nice quickness right there. She's got a nice little hesitation and just bang, turns on the jets to go right by you.
That's the 4th foul on Hall. Comes at the 2:27 mark and places hustling Sasha Brown, one of just 2 seniors on this Sac roster. And she shakes off the fatigue and has an all-net free throw.
Right, can't stress enough the job that both coaches have done down the stretch here with all that foul trouble. And we haven't seen anybody foul out yet. And, you know, both teams have still maintained an excellent pace on the floor and done some really great things down the stretch here in the 4th quarter.
In and out. Ball rebound, 1 out of 2, 65-50, 15-point cushion enjoyed by the Lions here with 2:20 to go. Shimizu on the floor, good ball handler. Tourney to Donald. Hall to Lowry. Not a lot Sac can do at this point. Tourney wanted to pull the trigger. Loses the rock out of bounds, but it's a tap away, apparently off Harris, number 10.
Well, I mean, they ran the shot clock all the way down to 2 seconds. Even though they didn't get a shot off, they still really milked it right there and Sac didn't have the ball, so they couldn't score. I mean, just good job of that.
Well, credit Harris for the D there. It was last touched evidently by Tourney, so it's a McClatchy turnover, and the Dragons are up the floor with less than 2 minutes remaining. Ball in the hands of Lauren Toller, number 5. Feed the post. Short, as Michele Masari has put in the remainder of her roster in what we could consider a concession here in the final minute and a half. What an effort by the McClatchy Lions. Tourney, Up the floor, Tourney's beaten on the get back, and the layup is an easy cherry pick layup cashed in by Gomez.
It's an important time for some of these young Sac High players that typically don't play in the big games against real good teams and everything, to get some time for the future. Coach Masari doing that right now.
Dangerous pass into the post. It's tapped away. Gomez misses the layup. Follow-up missed. And Donald the rebound. Boy, she has been in the right place at the right time and done many good things tonight for the Lions.
Sure has. They certainly would not be where they are in this game, up by 13 points against the #1 team in the area, #1 rated team in the area, without her tonight. Outstanding effort by her.
Shimizu's runner pops out. 35 seconds to go in this one. And the McClatchy Lions have climbed the mountain. Toller loses the rock, and it's out of bounds to the Dragons. This is the third meeting between the two teams. McClatchy defeated Sac in the West Coast Jamboree by 3. Then Sac topped the Lions over at McClatchy 3 weeks ago by 6. And here tonight with the timeout, it's the McClatchy Lions holding the 13-point cushion in what I would consider a decisive victory.
Especially considering the circumstances coming into a place like Hotel Pavilion, which is a very difficult place to win. Sac always has a huge advantage here, as they did tonight, but McClatchy just was the better team on this night.
Well, lots more goodies forthcoming. The postseason playoff pass is yours, courtesy of Access Sacramento. Opening round playoff action slated for Tuesday the 21st, and 3 days later, second round action on the 24th. So dial in and join us. Happy to have you with us. Rebecca Brown feed the post. Gomez a flip inside, bobbled away, out of bounds. Should be McClatchy basketball. It is. Michele Masari looking on as she has cleared her bench, giving some of her lesser used players time on the floor as Hall backs up. And in the final 10 seconds of expiration, the McClatchy Lions have met and defeated the Sac High Dragons for the second time this season here at Sac High. There's a buzzer, and this one is in the book, and it turns out to be a 65-52 victory for Jeff Oda and the #2 ranked McClatchy Lions, and that ranking may change by Tuesday.
You'll see a swap. I can't see Sac dropping any lower than 2. And going into the playoffs, I think both teams have, they have a real good opportunity to really push for a section title and maybe an opportunity for a NorCal playoff berth. And some good things to happen in that area too as well.
Well, there's a wide shot of Hotel Pavilion here at Sac High. A packed house tonight and sportsmanship with the handshakes afterward. We urge you to stick around because our post-game segment is coming up shortly, and Rick Stewart will be visiting with our players of the game and winning head coach Jeff Oda when we return. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. I already posted it.
Here we go. We're gonna go out there in the rain. You're gonna get wet. All right, here we go. Go, okay, quick. Oh yeah, yes. So much fun. Mwah. We're getting so wet.
The verdict is in, and the decision is final this evening in Oak Park, where at Hotel Pavilion, Sacramento High School, in a battle of number 1 versus number 2 for the Metro League title, visiting McClatchy comes up big on the road and posts an impressive 65-52 victory over number 1 Sacramento High School. I'm certain that everyone in the gym tonight was treated to hard, intense play, Kevin Kelly, as were we. And it was a game of flows back and forth, but in the end, McClatchy had more of the ebb and flow.
They did. I thought that their players were a little more poised. They took better shots. They did more fundamental things right tonight. And I thought that was the difference in the ball game.
Well, as you know, we always pick a player of the game from each squad, and I think we've got 2 doozies tonight. A pair of seniors that emerged big on 2 rosters full of underclassmen. For the McClatchy Lions, senior wing Kamari Donald perhaps delivered the quintessential performance, the turning point in this victory effort for McClatchy. 14 points off the bench and a big second quarter burst. And veteran post Sasha Brown playing hard and tuning in to help her ball club with 13 points. Another stellar performance. Rick Stewart is standing by with our players of the game, and he has more. Rick?
2 outstanding choices tonight for the game here between McClatchy and Sacramento. First for Sacramento, Sasha Brown. Sasha, tremendous game tonight. Even though the point spread might not be there, a solid game tonight for both teams.
Thank you.
What was the key tonight for the game? Now, you went in with a whole lot of confidence after beating them last time at their place. What was the key for you guys that you had to accomplish?
Just to be focused and run through our plays, but we couldn't execute that.
Okay, the shooting was a little bit off for both teams early. I mean, was it just a feeling out and trying to get used to each other?
We shot before, like we had the game, but I guess our shots wasn't falling.
Okay, you played each other 3 times. Is that a benefit the third time around, or is it like a hindrance?
It's a benefit.
Okay, when you go into the playoffs, how big of a boost does this give you that you're coming off a loss and you're going into the playoffs, and that is it a support?
Yeah, we just have to play harder when we go into the playoffs and be focused.
Senior night for you tonight, last home game. Tremendous career you've had here at Sac High. Congratulations on being our player of the game.
Thank you.
All right, congratulations. Good luck in the playoffs. All right, we're going to turn here to McClatchy's star of the night, Kamari Donald. Kamari, good shooting first and foremost, but what was the key for me was watching you out-rebound some of those people.
You said what was the key?
Yeah, well, that was the key for me. I mean, was it for you?
I just came to play. I just did everything.
When you're playing point guard out there, running with this team that's so quick, it's almost like you guys are wanting to set up your offense slowly, but the opportunity is there to run because they run. Is that a key, or is that something you guys don't really look for?
That's a key.
Okay. Did you think you did well tonight with that?
Yeah, I think we did.
Going into the playoffs, and you've beaten Sac 2 out of 3 times this year. The Jamboree win as well, you had to come back with that one, and tonight is a solid win for you. Going into the playoffs, how much of a boost does this give you confidence-wise?
A huge boost because we lost to them before, so to beat them and win Metro gives us a huge boost, so we have a lot of confidence now.
As you go forward in the playoffs, what's going to be the key?
Just to play hard, don't give up, make sure everyone keeps their head up, and just play as a team, as a family.
Outstanding tonight, Kamari, and good job and good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
All right, we turn now to Coach Oda. Coach, tremendous effort tonight. in the ball game. The third time you played them, was that something that helped you going in?
It helped us because the first time we beat them, we were shorthanded. Second time we had everybody, we thought we were going to, just play and beat them, but they beat us, and this showed us that they have a lot of heart, Sakai. In this third game, hey, we just played hard and got some stops and rebounds.
Was the plan to try to run with them or try not to run with them?
Try to run, but try to slow them down by playing some zone and make them shoot outside.
You shot pretty well tonight from the field. Were you satisfied with that?
Oh, Kamari with the dynamo today for us. She was the difference maker. She got us going. I know she likes to start, but I like her coming off the bench because she gives us so much energy.
Well, and one thing I mentioned to her, too, that she had several key rebounds tonight in the game, which were really important at that moment.
Oh, yeah, she did everything. She got some rebounds, made some shots, broke them down with layups, got a couple of assists. She did everything for us tonight.
As you move forward into the playoffs, as you see it, what do you think the keys are going to be for you to go further? And you won state title a couple of years ago. I mean, what do you have to do again?
We hang our hat on defense because our shots will come and go. So that's why we spend 3/4 of our practice on defense. It's always defense.
All right, Coach, congratulations on the victory tonight. Good luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
All right, guys, it's for you upstairs. Big game tonight, good scoring, a little bit wider than what I thought it might have been, but tremendous effort on both teams' parts.
To be sure, Rick Stewart, tremendous effort. It was evident that both clubs really wanted this game badly. It meant more than just splitting up the title, the Metro League title here at the end, but the playoffs are just ahead, and that is of paramount importance, and I'm sure they had their eyes on that prize as well. And Kevin Kelly, you can't fault the players for their effort tonight.
No, you can't. Our coaches always call it the third season. You have preseason, you got league, and then you've got playoffs. And right now, McClatchy's definitely in playoff mode. I thought Coach Oda brought up some great points. The game definitely changed when Donald came in. It was the turning point of the whole thing. She was the key to it. Everybody else on the floor got better. I also thought fundamentally they were so sound in the backcourt, even with the pressure that Zach High was putting on them sometimes. Hall would stand back there and look right over the top. Cruz would look right over the top or dribble, and they advanced the ball with the pass, and just the press wasn't effective. I was very impressed by their team, and that's a team that you can watch will go places in the playoffs because they may face somebody that has a lot of talent, maybe more talent than they do, but they're so fundamentally sound and they have enough talent that they're always going to be in a ball game. So, for me, I think that I was really impressed by that win. I'm a little disappointed. We talked about it there. I thought maybe they were in the same division. I thought Sac was playing in Division I, so that's kind of a little bit of a bummer. But, it kind of is what it is, and we'll see what happens. I think both teams have an excellent chance of section titles.
I do as well. Now, if we crunch a few numbers here, looking at McClatchy with their big 65 points, they put 4 players in double figures. Excellent balance with scoring totals of 15, 14, 13, 10. And it was a little bit too much for Sac High. They had double-figure scoring from 3 players, Walters, Brown, and both teams got a boost off the bench. As we mentioned, Donald with 14. Avent gave Sac 11 off the bench in the first half. Didn't score afterward, but it put them back into action. And that was a nice effort by a sophomore there to come off with a scoring splurge. So with the victory, McClatchy now improves to 24-3 on the season and 13-1 in Metro League. And with the setback, Michele Masari's Sac High Dragons fall to 19-8 and also an identical 13-1. So McClatchy and Sac will share the Metropolitan League title. They split their games. And again, testimony to 2 excellent programs, well coached, and with a plethora of talented athletes that are true student scholar athletes based on those grade point averages we saw. Well, that's the way it shakes out this evening on the Hometown Sports Game of the Week here in Oak Park at Sac High, where a showdown between number 2 and number 1 produces McClatchy as the victorious team tonight, 65-52 over the Sac High Dragons. Access Sacramento and the Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew wish to extend their appreciation to the Sacramento High administration, particularly Athletic Director Marco Lopez, for their cooperation and assistance with the broadcast arrangements for this television production. The Hometown Sports Game of the Week is a special sports present of Access Sacramento in association with Play by Play Sports Productions. For Kevin Kelly, Rick Stewart, game director Ronicia Harris, our engineer Richard Langley, Danny Mendonça, Bruce Riggs, and our entire Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast crew. I'm Will James. We thank you for joining us and certainly look forward to the next occasion when we can get together. So long, everyone.
This program from Access Sacramento's Hometown Sports Game of the Week is available for purchase on DVD. For more information, call Access Sacramento, 916-456-8600, extension 0. This has been a Hometown Sports Game of the Week broadcast from Access Sacramento. This program is funded in part by a grant from the Sacramento Metropolitan Cable Television Commission.